friends, Marty Ware here from Martys Garden. I tell you what, crazy busy this morning. Friends dropping around, selling compost, gave away some papaya trees to some of my clients, and yeah, wow. I'm a bit sort of overwhelmed at the moment, but I thought, I've got to get this video out because I promised I would shoot more, and I really want to get active in what I'm doing. But before we get into the video and I take you down to the local landscapers where we talk about saving some money, you can use some different beddings and a few other cool things. I want to show you something. I was featured for Earth Day. I don't know if you saw me on YouTube, Australia, New Zealand, and then the global. And they sent me this bag. Like, I got this package and I thought, hang on, I haven't bought a new camera or a new lens or anything just yet, even though I'm always getting them all the time. And I was like really confused about what it was, and I opened it up and I was like, congratulations, Mr. Ware, you have an Earth Day YouTube bag and some type of mug I haven't even opened yet. And inside here we've got some things, brush with bamboo and some little rod thing. Still trying to work out what this is. I've got to have a look in the little list there. A little brush. Some card in here as well. YouTube is celebrating you. Happy Earth Day. Now I'm too late. I'm sorry guys. I really am. I just told you I've just been flat out crazy busy. I'm a single dad too, so I'm always, that just takes up so much of my time. But thank you, YouTube, if you're watching this. Give us a big thumbs up if you dig that, guys. I reckon good on you. It was a really nice surprise to have, and hopefully I get to the silver plaque. We need to get to 100,000 to reach to that, and I think it's very, very doable, especially with this new Worm Nerd format that's coming up real soon. I think we're going to be pushing to the edges, and I just want to keep sort of like the tension on for that, guys. I don't want to release anything sort of too much, but I think you've been watching the videos, you're getting an idea where we're leading with this. It's going to be lots of fun mixing the sort of this worm farming biology and everything into plants and running all these really cool experiments, and yeah, it's going to be nuts. But anyway, yesterday, well, this would be a few days later since I released this video, but I went down to the local landscapers because that's where I pick up my materials. I don't go to any other shops. I make most of my own stuff here, but occasionally if I need anything, I'll go to the local landscaper to pick something up if I don't want to use some of my material. Now, my local landscaper has quite a lot of really cool stuff, and one of the things that he has is mushroom compost, yeah? And I love using that in worm farms. It's really good, but it can be quite heavy. There's also cow manure there. There's a really good wood chip, and there's a type of pebble that he's got that's really interesting, and we're going to talk about that further on, sort of down the line in the end of this video, right? So what I want to do is talk about saving money instead of having to go buy this bag stuff. Now, the reason why you might want to go other than saving money is just that it's more open, it's aerated, you're supporting a different dynamic, you're supporting local and not so much these big massive shops. And when it's bagged up and it's tightened up and there's no airflow going into those bags, the heavy plastic ones, they go a bit sour and go a bit anaerobic, so it might not always be the perfect bedding for your worms anyway. And look, you get it at around about half the price. Sometimes you just ask for a bucket, they'll just give it to you because they just go, you just want a bucket? Oh mate, just help yourself, they sell like a big 30-litre bag for like $7, maybe half the price of what you get at the big shop, and they'll have a variety of it, and you can pick up little bits and pieces of it to feed your worms as well and be worm nerds. Now, the mushroom compost, it has a lot of really good biology in it, and there's a bit of nitrogen in it too because they feed it mostly chicken manure. Now the mushrooms chew through that chicken manure. There's generally not a lot left, but there's a lot of living good biology in there. There's a bit of carbon in there. There's a bit of extra food sources in there. So it is a very good bedding. Like I said, it's just a bit heavy, so you don't want to put it in too thick. Go thinner than what you would think, and then always add a little bit sort of more later. Now, cow manure as a bedding is something I haven't really done other than out in the windrows, but I know they do use it in the big mega worm farms like the pro ones, and they use old cow manure from the places where you get cow manure from and let it sit for quite a while. So if there's any like bad nasties in it from any of the hormones that they're feeding, or after the worm tablets and things, that sort of dissipates out. Now where I get mine from, it's already old and already broken down a fair bit, and you know, there's definitely no nasties in there, and you know, it's not too bad stuff. It's sort of like, it's a bit finer than the mushroom compost, and it's a really good one to just feed your worms with every now and again, because there's a extra microbe in it, because you've got to pass through a few guts, remember, in the cow, other than a horse. It passes through a few more, so it picks up a few more microbes out of the stomach and then goes into the worm gut and gets digested and ends up in the soil. So that's why they use it a lot in biodynamics and things, because it holds a lot of microbes and good bacteria that can then breed and populate quite easily. So it's a great one if you're going to be making worm tea, is to use cow manure in your worm farms to make your worm tea. So cool pro tip there for you guys. Now, the other one that you can use is wood chip. So you can get a bit of wood chip, you can blend a bit of cow manure with it, or a bit of sort of mushroom with it, and you can do it that way. Or you can compost the wood chip with some type of nitrogen, such as coffee grounds, like I do. And that goes a really, really long way. Now, I've got outside, because I forgot to bring it inside, is these pebbles. And I want to talk about that for coming up in the next video. So I'm going to have to run outside and grab that in a minute. But before we do that, what I want to know is, what type of bedding are you using? Are you using cocoa peat? Are you using cow manure? Have you ever used mushroom? Are you trialing different ones? What are you finding? What's best for you? Where are you buying it from? And would you consider changing and going to the local landscaper and supporting, or landscape supplies, and supporting them if you have one nearby? And maybe, I really don't want to get sort of into brands too much here, but you know, if you've had an experience with something that you think was just really bad, maybe you want to share that too. The fridge just started. Don't know if you can hear that on the thing. I'm not going to cancel this video just because the fridge started, but I am going to go outside and grab this type of pebble and bring it in and show to you guys. Back in a minute. I'm back, guys. Just went outside, had a bit of a stash going next to one of my worm farms. So I'm just going to scoot down here and grab it. There we go. Bring it up. I shouldn't really be putting this on the kitchen bench. If I was married, I tell you what, I'd be in big trouble doing this. But we're not yet, so maybe one day when that happens, I won't be doing something like this unless I have my own studio. Look at this type of pebble. I got this from the landscape place. And it's pretty hard, it's a bit hard to get on the screen there. But I'll grab one piece and give it, now it's really super light and fluffy, and it's started to let us see core something or whatever. It's like a volcanic rock. Now, what is cool about this? Well, it's super porous, right? And volcanic rocks is where all the minerals come from. So rock dust and stuff. When I'm touching it, it's super dusty. So I don't want to touch my camera with this hard abrasive material, get on the lens and scratch it or whatever. But hopefully that's coming out. But there's lots of little holes. It's like a little bit of coral almost. It's super light. Now, if you've ever heard of biochar, right? Biochar is like a burnt material that holds a light fluffy surface that holds bacteria, microbes and fungi and things like that, and this will do pretty much that. Now I'm thinking about using this in the worm farms in a certain way to breed the bacteria on the side like a biochar and to create sort of a filtered area in the worm farm. Can you guess where it's going to go? I'd like to hear from you down below what you think about this rock, what you think about the biochar process, but with a rock like this, and if you've got any other rocks around nearby. And should we do a video about using this, because it will go into pot plants in the near future to worm nerd out to grow stuff, right? It's a bit like, I don't know, we're not going hydroponic, I'm not going aquaponic, sort of like vermiponics maybe. Interesting, what do you think? There's a big pile of it down there at the landscaping place. Really, really excited. So let me know what you think about this stuff, guys. We want to work together, and I've never done this before. Maybe you've got some really cool ideas that you'd like to see that I could implement for you. All right, I'm going to pop down again. I've got one more thing to show you before you go. Now, there couldn't be a worm farming gardening channel, right, without showing you this. Yep, what you got in here? What do you reckon's in here? Let's have a look and find out. Oh. Whoa, oh, oh. Now, like I said, I would be in so much trouble if I was doing this. Oh man, I've got all stuff in front of the camera and everything. Dumb move, Marty. Really stupid move, but we're going to do it anyway. And we've got all these. I'm just going to thin that out a bit because it was a bit too heavy to see. And look at those guys. Look at them. Oh, yes, yes. They are big night crawlers. And guess what? I don't know whether that stayed in focus or not. I just totally rolled with it and I've made a mess here that I've got to clean up. I'm in my kitchen, right? Like I said, I'd be dead if I was married and doing that here. So I've got to clean that up in a minute. But have a guess where they're going and what they're going to be doing. The big night crawlers. They're going into their own special big night crawler worm farm. I think we're going to call it the Congo worm farm. You've got another name for like an African name, because I'm pretty sure they're mostly Africans. There might be a couple of Euros in there. I'm not real sure. I'm not real good at identifying them, but maybe you can help me with that as well, because I'm sort of like predominantly a Reds man. And now that they've just taken off in my windrows and worm farms, because I'm creating the ultimate environment for them, yeah, they're my major worm now. So yeah, give me a name, an African name, for this certain type of worm farm I'm going to be building. I'm going to keep the suspense up and show you that in the very near future as well. And yeah, we'll get like the African drum run, go, give us a name, put it down below. I like Congo. So if you like Congo, give Congo a vote down below. So I vote 1 for Congo, I vote 2 for Congo, anything like that. Or if you've got another name that we're going to go for that worm farm. I'll give you a bit of a hint. It's going in a big bucket, and I'm going to show that to you a little bit later on in a coming up series. All right, that's it for now. I'm going to head off, guys. Hopefully you liked that video. Don't forget to give us a big thumbs up, subscribe, because you're going to see more cool stuff. All these like experiments. We're going to worm nerd and grow plants and do all this really stuff. Just grow our plant nerd, worm wrangler faces off. It's going to be so much fun. Have a great day. Happy worm farming. I don't know if I can do this on the screen, but we'll go halfway. Catch you in the next video. We'll see. Bye for now. Ciao. Oh, I gotta reach. Can't put dirty hands on.